Hey, good afternoon, guys. Today I'm going to do a do-it-yourself installation of a 4,500-pound winch into a Can-Am Defender and HD7. Done a little research on the internet just to educate myself a little bit. And I'm going to start with the winch itself. The cables come color-coded, yellow to yellow, and the other one to the blue. I've got those mounted up. The cable is going back across the winch because it's going to go up the other side. There are pre-made zip tie mounts. It's going to go in through up here. It's going to get mounted there. And the next clip, real quick here, I'll show you how to run that wire. Before I run that wire, I'll show you real quick, the winch itself is drilled and tapped to receive these 4 bolts. We've got a flat washer, lock washer, flat washer, lock washer. All right, I've got those bolts mounted in there. It was a 13 millimeter. Use a 13 millimeter. All right, here's where we're at so far. The winch is mounted and tightened. Wires, color-coded wires, are ran past the winch. You can see them, they ran up through here. And they've got really nice holes already drilled for your wire connectors or for your those square-headed tabs that just stick right in there. It goes in nicely. It avoids the radiator. And here is the solenoid, which mounts right there. These are my 2 wires coming from the winch. Yellow to yellow and blue to the other one. There was 1 bolt to hold this down. There's a prong back here that it slides back into. That's where we're at so far. Okay, for your remote coupler, runs remote control for your winch. There's a mounting spot over here, right there. There was no hole. I had to get involved with this right here. Put a 1/2-inch hole there. Now these wires here, I get stuff through that hole. We can see them right there. So I got to fish those out and come right back through there. All right, took a little bit of jiggling. I've got those wires through there, coming back on out. This is going to be set up for our remote control. I'll go ahead and get this mounted right here. There are not screws included to mount this. So I'll have to dig in a toolbox and find the appropriate screws to mount that to these holes here. All right, here's where we're at so far. There's a solenoid. There are colors on here, and they're gonna help you do some detective work, because when you start going into these wires here, the colors on the other end don't necessarily match up exactly, but you can backtrace them to the colors on here. That's your detective work. And next we're gonna go ahead and mount our negative solenoid. This bad boy right here. Here's how it will look once you have it assembled. In a minute, I'll show you how it looks when it's installed. All right, here's where we're at now in the process. This here's for my remote. I went ahead and put that, there's a separate plug connector. I went and put that on there. We're gonna match up red to red. Then there's a blue-green wire and a blue one. We're gonna match up the green wire to the blue-green, and we'll go black to blue. Now there's a factory bundle of wires, these 4 right here, which were zip tied in a coil down here. Go ahead and cut that. Now we're going to take our remaining 4 male ends, which are color coded. They will coordinate with the colors on here. Now once we do this and connect them together, we are done. Top, side, front will be going into the cab. I do want to point out, and I'll point out, I have not needed to take off any fenders or the plate right here. Everything has been accessible. There's been no handicap, no need to take off these fenders, which I would imagine in a shop manual, it would say to take these off. Probably adding an extra 20 minutes to your bill if you're having a shop do it. Okay, here we are again, top, front, side. I'm just using some zip ties to tidy up our bundles of wires here. This one here is just zip tied to itself, tucked back in behind an air cleaner holder. This HD7 does not have an air cleaner up front here, so it's a good spot to tuck that back in there. Over here, there was an existing clamp in that hole there. Your twist tie package in your kit will have one like this that will stuff into that hole. So we can cinch this back down tight there so it's not rattling around. I'll go ahead and put that on and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, here's what that looks like. I got her zip tied in there, all nice and tidy. And again, I have not needed to take off the fenders. The only thing that needed to be removed was the front grille, which simply snaps in. We're done front, top side. Now we're going to do the wiring in dash, in the cab, and mount our switch. If you have a dash panel, you're going to have to pull this out. It is with Torx tips, and the engineers at Can-Am must have been feeling spunky because it's number 20s and number 25s. So you're going to have both, number 20 and number 25 tip, because for some reason you decided to mix it up a little bit. Now we're going to install the final wiring in the switch. Here's what your switch looks like. And you've got all your knockouts on your dash all along, right or left. There's no wrong answer. It's where you want to put it. I'm going to put mine on the left side right here. I've already taken a screwdriver. I couldn't get behind it. And I just popped it out of there like that. Now, we got our last wiring pigtail. We've got our color-coded wires right here. There's a hot and a ground here. Up underneath the dash, hopefully there's enough light, right up here is a bundle of color-coded wires. In there are the 4 that match up that I just showed you. And back up in behind here is a hot and a cold, or hot in the ground. There and there, we have to hook onto that. So I'm going to go ahead and run my wiring pigtail through. Through here. Now I'm going to go ahead and sneak that through and connect those wires. And the last thing I do is I'll be hooking this switch onto here and snapping it in there. Okay, the wiring is all connected. I just connected the switch to the pigtail sticking out here. I'm going to snap that into that hole there. Just a minute. Here's a quick view of what we got going on down right there. You have to do some detective work and back trace the color of the wires to make sure you got the right ones there. But everything you need is there. Very time consuming. These nuts up here for your power source took quite a bit of time. It's kind of hard to get a deep socket up in there. So that's what we're done with the wrench. Okay, I just tested it. Everything works as it should. Now I'm just going to put it back together. And that was a driveway installation of a winch and a Can-Am Defender. A couple things that were different than what I saw from others is there was absolutely no reason to take these fenders off, other than perhaps to add shop time. There's no reason to take the hood off. These are all steps that probably saved me 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the variety of Torx screws that they would have used. All in all, a very simple installation, nothing unusual. There's quite a bit of leftover parts. I don't know why. I've double checked, but we got extra parts. Lots of zip ties. So not a scary project. If you can change your own brake pads, you can do this easily. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.